All right, let's get right into it. What if I told you the secret to success isn't just about what you do, but about how you see the world? It's a really interesting idea, right? Today, we're going to dive deep into this surprising connection between our daily habits, our mindset, and a kind of hidden value that, believe it or not, we all have. Okay, just take a second to think about this one. The world's great people finish 50% of their life's work before 8 a.m. Wow. That's a pretty wild claim, isn't it? I mean, half your work done before most of us have even hit the snooze button for the third time. It's a really bold statement, and it's the perfect jumping off point for our first big idea. So that quote obviously begs the question, what are these successful people actually doing? Well, that brings us right to our first section, where we're going to look at the habits of the successful. You might expect some super complicated formula here, but it really boils down to two foundational habits. First, no surprise here, waking up early in the morning. And second, reading a book every single day. Now, these aren't just, nice suggestions. They're seen as the absolute bedrock, the common denominator for so many high achievers out there. And look, this isn't just some abstract theory. We're talking about real people. Think about guys like Bill Gates and Warren Buffett. They're absolutely legendary for how much they read. For them, it's not a hobby they squeeze in. No way. It's a non-negotiable part of their day, a crucial tool for learning and growing. It's the perfect real-world proof of this idea. Okay, so wake up early, read a lot. Sounds simple enough, right? But hold on a second. This is where we need to pause and ask a really important question. Are these habits enough? Is that the whole secret? Or is it possible that these actions are just the key to unlocking something much, much bigger that's already inside us? And that question right there, it leads us perfectly into our second section, which is all about the difference in perspective. This is where we shift gears from focusing on what we do to focusing on how we see. So here's a great way to think about it. Imagine you're wearing a pair of glasses. You can't take them off. Everything you see through those lenses. Well, those glasses, that's your mindset. It's your environment, your beliefs, the whole shebang. You're not seeing the world objectively. You're seeing it through your personal filter. And that means all value, including your own, is being colored by that lens. So if that's true, if our perception literally shapes our reality, it forces us to ask a really direct, maybe even uncomfortable question. How do you see yourself? I mean, what is your actual baseline value? Before any of the achievements, before the job title, before the habits, what are you fundamentally worth? And that question, well, it brings us to the real heart of this whole thing. We're about to get to a number that might honestly change the way you see yourself forever. Get ready for this. Just look at that number on the screen. 200 to 400 crore rupees. Let me put that in perspective for you. That's somewhere between 25 and 50 million US dollars. Just let that sink in. What in the world could possibly be worth that much money? Well, the answer is you. Yeah, you heard me right. Get this. That staggering figure is just the estimated market value of your human organs. That means before you accomplish a single thing, before you even get out of bed in the morning, you are walking around with a biological net worth of tens of millions of dollars. And isn't it funny? We walk around thinking, oh, I'm not a millionaire. But if you look at the biological balance sheet, well, you already are. And then some. And that right there illustrates the whole point so perfectly. The idea is, if you want to increase your value in life, whether it's in your career, your relationships, whatever, the journey doesn't start by trying to do more. It starts by seeing more. It begins the moment you recognize the incredible value that you've had all along. Okay, so where does that leave us? How do we actually put this into practice? Well, our final section is going to boil everything we've talked about down to one single powerful first step. So forget about those long, complicated to-do lists for self-improvement for just a second. This whole idea boils down to just one thing, the only step that really matters to get started. And it's an internal one. It's not about adding another habit to your routine. It's about making a fundamental shift in how you see yourself. It's just seeing and truly acknowledging the incredible value you already have. That's the foundation. Everything else is built on top of that. So let's leave it with this thought. Are habits powerful? Absolutely. But they're just the tools you use to build on top of a foundation. And that foundation, that's your own inherent worth. So the real question isn't what are you going to do tomorrow to be better? The real question is, after hearing all this, how are you going to choose to see your own value,
starting right now, today.